Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Here we are, continuing on my my content creator journey of trying to do one YouTube video a week for the entire year. We are starting a new year here, obviously. It is 2022, and I realized last year I did manage to put out a 2021 lineup video, and this was also something my patrons had been asking me, so I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and share my 2022 lineup, which is in front of me. It is massive. Like pray for me. There's so much stuff that I am gonna be trying to work on in this upcoming year. It is crazy town. But I liked actually revisiting that 2021 lineup video because it was interesting to see where I was at creatively, what I had started, what I was going to be working on, and all of that, and to see what I am continuing to work on, as well as what's kind of some new stuff, and just some general kind of goals. So my lineup, obviously, we're talking about my planners, my planner journal, sketchbooks, art journals, and project-specific things as well. So we are gonna get right into it. Where do I start? Oh my God. Let's start off right away with my everyday carry here. My everyday carry is my Hobonichi. I have the A6 Avec, and I absolutely love it. I have myself all set up. I did manage to get one of the really fancy covers this year. I won the lottery and was very, very excited about that. So I have my new planner already set up. Last year I switched to the Hobonichi. I was in like a traveler's notebook style, switched to the Hobonichi, and it was one of the best things ever. I managed to actually straight up complete my Hobonichi, both parts, and they are chunky little beasts. They're over here in my little caddy of books behind me, but I was really proud of myself that I managed to finish it. But this is like my catch-all for everything. It's where I put to-do lists, it's where I schedule things, it's where I write down ideas, it's where I journal, like hand journaling moments. I print out pictures and put pictures in there. I do all sorts of things in this, and it is like my everyday thing. It is on my desk out all the time. I'm constantly writing notes in it. You guys have already seen, not this one, but I collaged my cover for my 2021 one. This is my 2022 collaged inside cover. Yeah, this is absolutely a must going into the new year with me. My everyday carry, love this little guy. Next up, as far as like plannery, journaling things go, is my 5-year. I started my 5-year journal last year. This is the 2021 to 2025 one, and I managed to complete the whole year. You can actually see it's pretty chunky. It's funny because the chunk is all up here on the top because that's where 2021 is. But I am continuing on into my 2nd year, and it's so much fun now that I am starting a 2nd year to see things being journaled next to each other from the previous year. It's really, really fun. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I do doodle in this. I write in it, obviously. I play around with fonts, washi tape, stickers. I try not to put too much stuff in it just because I'm nervous about it getting too chunky, but I definitely do watercolor, inks, and mainly it's actual like handwriting journaling, which never thought I'd be the person to do that. In the past, I've never been one to do that, but motherhood changed that for me. So I'm blaming that all on becoming a mom. It's like, as soon as I became a mom, I felt this instant pressure that I needed to document more of my personal life. And I do that currently with my 5-year, and then my planner journal, everyday junk journal. Everything lives in this. It's fun to look back on. That is how I scrapbook as a mom, I guess. Taking these into the new year, love them. Love them both. Very, very important to me. Next up, let's talk about art journals. Art journals are an interesting territory for me going into the new year because I've been working in a much smaller format when it comes to art journaling, like my traditional altered book art journaling, which is kind of what I've become known for. I've steered away from some of my larger art journals just because I haven't been in the mood to work in them. So it's hard for me to really say like what I will be specifically be working in the new year, but I do have a couple that I kind of keep going back to, so I want to share those with you now. First up are my little Seuss journals. I literally call them my Seuss journals because I stole 2 of my son's little mini Dr. Seuss books and I have converted them into art journals. So I have one that is got a lot more progress, and I have started a second one. So I kind of toggle between these two as far as art journaling goes. And I'm just really enjoying working in this sort of smaller format. It feels like it's less pressure. It's definitely more carefree journaling for me in a sense. I was doing a lot of like the Peachtober prompts from last year in this. So I'm hoping to at least finish these little guys. That's definitely something that I'd like to do. I mean, some of my favorite spreads are in this and I just absolutely love it. So hoping to finish this one, hoping to continue working on this one. Of course, if you want more behind the scenes on this, I have full art journal with me videos and videos on how to set these up over on my Patreon if you want to learn more about that. Two other art journals, I decided to try out the Strathmore Mixed Media Sketchbook as an art journal. I use these as my go-to sketchbooks. It's definitely one of my favorite sketchbook things to work in, but I've been experimenting with using it for art journaling. Now, I can't give you my total feedback on it just yet because I'm still working through it. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to say whether or not it's a good blank book to work in for art journaling, heavy duty mixed media yet, because I really need to work on more spreads. But this little guy, which you may have seen on Instagram probably at some point, is done in that blank book. I want to keep working on this and keep building pages in this just to see how it holds up. I do typically like to have a blank sort of sketchbook, a blank book for art journaling. I've usually done the Mixed Media Art Plus sketchbooks for art journaling, which I'll get to in a moment. I have another one, but I just wanted to experiment with the Strathmore softcover mixed media just to see how it holds up. I've only done 2 spreads in this, so I need to keep working in it. Purely from an experimentation standpoint, I need to keep adding more stuff in it and see how it holds up, how it bulks, all that good stuff. Hoping to continue into this one, I at least have 2 completed spreads. Maybe this is the one where I kind of do it just 1 spread at a time and not go overboard by doing 20,000 spreads at once, which is usually how I operate. I don't know, but hoping to work on that. Another sketchbook slash art journal that I really need to finish. I started this one in January of 2020, so it's been a hot minute. I took a pause on this. I dip in and out of this one. You know, art journaling just takes a really long time for me. So it just, you know, to have completed spreads just takes me a long time. As I mentioned, the Moleskine Art Plus is typically my favorite when it comes to a blank book for art journaling. So I still really love art journaling in these, and specifically the hardcover ones I really like. But I do have just random sketchbook stuff in here as well. Yeah, it's a real mix-mosh of art journaling and sketchbook stuff. It's a real mix-mosh, but I will say I'm very close to finishing this. So if I really just focus, give myself a little bit of focus, I'm thinking I might actually take this with me on an upcoming trip somewhere. I can try to get this done. And whether it's sketchbook stuff or art journaling stuff, I categorize it into art journaling because I do have more spreads in this. Some of my favorite ones actually from 2020. But I really need to finish this guy, so I've moved him up to the top of my pile to hopefully, finally, finish this one. Okay, so that is my art journaling. I do have altered books, other larger altered books, but frankly, I just don't know if I'm gonna be working in those. So these are the ones that I know that are just like at the top of my mind and that I've already kind of grabbed and moved to my desk for the new year. So that kind of about does it for art journaling for right now. Moving into sketchbooks and kind of even more just mixed media work, the tarot project, yet again, I bring this up every year. Every year I'm like,
this is gonna be a priority, the tarot project.
I am making this a priority. Damn it. I am determined to finish the major arcana this year, but along with that comes my tarot project sketchbook. There are things in this, so I'm nervous about opening this up here because things are just gonna start flying out of it. But this is my sketchbook that is specific to that project, where I house ideas and thumbnails and initial sketches and brainstorming and just even my notes regarding cards. So this is definitely going to be one that is going to be back in the pile. You would have seen this in last year's video, but it's gonna be back in the pile. Oh, I'm just remembering of another one I didn't grab. Oh geez. Another one that I'm not gonna get because it's too big is my big stupid sketchbook project sketchbook. I have a couple of those videos here up on the channel already. You can go back and look at those, but I wanna work on that again. But this time I am fully committing to Big Book of Patterns. I talked about this last year that I was iffy about wanting to continue using it as like a sketchbook, but rather continue using it as just purely a big old book full of patterns. And that, my friends, is what I'm going to do. In fact, I've already started filming new episodes for that. So stay tuned, big book of patterns is coming, and it's in that beast. It's behind me. I'm not gonna dig it out. It's like 50 pounds. I really don't want to, but you can look at my Big Stupid Sketchbook Project videos to see which one it is. It's the giant, beefy sketchbook, but I'm converting it. I'm changing its function. I've already ripped stuff out of it. Yeah, I'll save that stuff for an upcoming video that I'm currently working on that will be on YouTube. Okay, other sketchbooks. There are 3 other sketchbooks that I want to talk about here that I am moving into the new year with. 2 of them are the Strathmore Mixed Media softcover. The other one is a Moleskine plain paper sketchbook, which I also lovingly call my off-camera crinkle. I'll explain in just a moment in case you're new here and you don't know what the off-camera crinkle is. First up, this little guy. This is just, again, the Strathmore Mixed Media in the smaller size. This is mainly like my illustration sketchbook. I primarily have more completed illustrations in here. A lot of like my Advent sticker designs are in here. There are some places where I do swatches and kind of fun things, but for the most part, it's where completed illustrations live. And that is because I like illustrating on this paper. So it's a good place for me to have my finished artwork that I then scan and create kind of products with. But there's still kind of fun, whimsical, weird things in here beyond art challenges. But I have just a few pages left. I'm definitely more than halfway. So I want to prioritize this guy and try to get it done. I started this in March of 2021. It'd be nice if I could finish this by March. I feel like that's a reasonable goal. To get this done within a year would be really nice. Next up, I will share my other Strathmore Mixed Media now. This is my larger Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook. This is a brand new sketchbook that I started in January this month. Technically, I started it in December because I'm filming it. This is specifically for my Patreon sketchbook club. For the longest time, I've wanted to create an online class that was just about filling a sketchbook from start to finish. And I've attempted to film that class a number of times and it's always been a bit of a challenge. So I just decided to turn that into a specific reward for the all access tier on my Patreon. So every month I have a specific sketchbook club video that goes out that's basically documenting the progress of start to finish of completing this sketchbook. So my goal is to completely fill this sketchbook by the end of the year, and it's gonna be fully documented over on Patreon. So those videos are starting now if you wanna join the club and have a good time, but that's what's going on in here. There's already spray paint, there's already crazy kooky things happening in here that I'm very excited about. It's fun to be starting a new sketchbook, but it's also fun to be starting one that is so specific to my Patreon community and finally doing a project, again, that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do a sketchbook class, and I feel like this is how I'm scratching that itch, basically. My other large sketchbook with a massive plane outside. I live by an airport. It is what it is. My other large sketchbook is the Moleskine plain notebook. I think it's just called a plain notebook paper sketchbook. It comes in fun colors. It is what I call my off-camera crinkle. This started as my sketchbook that I was going to use purely off-camera. It's terrible for mixed media stuff. It's terrible for ink, terrible for watercolor, but it is really fun to just have wet, crinkly, messy things all over the place in this. I started this in April of 2021. I'm almost done with it. There are a lot of pages in these too. They are big once you start working in it, but you can see the chunk in this thing. But I have grown to love this sketchbook so much because it is my place to just have fun. I know no finalized artwork is gonna ever live in this because the paper is so crappy. I do not recommend this as like your first sketchbook, but I know that the paper is crappy and that's what makes it so fun to work in. And again, can you hear it? The crinkle. I live for the crinkle. I just love the way the crinkle sounds. Oh look, here's some preliminary sketches for my Haunted Mansion Beetlejuice envelopes that I want to continue working on. It's just a good time. It's just a fun place for just messy, chaotic things and I freaking love it. I cannot wait to flip this one for you guys because there is just so much random stuff in here. Look, a well walker. Good times. I'm in love with this sketchbook. I love working in these crinkly, crappy pages, but I'm so close to the end, so I'm looking forward to definitely putting this at the top of my pile and getting this done this year. And I've already bought another one as my backup in like a really crazy lime green color. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one up, which I think is gonna happen very soon, and starting my new off-camera crinkle. Even though I film it all the time, I break my own rule that it's supposed to be an off-camera sketchbook, but anyways, you get the idea. Okay, let me see, am I still filming? Yes, watch. Okay, so there we have it. Pretty much everything here minus my giant, big stupid sketchbook, which is becoming the big book of patterns. Again, more to come on that. I'm currently filming that. But look at this pile. Can I carry all these? Can I do this? There it is, folks. Oh my gosh. Will this make a good thumbnail? Can I make a thumbnail out of this? Oh my gosh, my arms are literally shaking holding all this. So here it is. My 2022 lineup. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear down below, what is your lineup look like? Do you have 1,000 sketchbooks like I do? Are you starting a 5-year journal? Are you continuing a 5-year? Do you have a project specific journal, sketchbook, whatever it is? I'd love to know down in the comments, and yeah, I will be down there as well, chatting with you guys. But yeah, I hope at least you seeing my lineup was a little bit entertaining and interesting. If you have any questions, you can also leave those down for me in the comments. I will chat with you all down there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!